Hi guys, welcome back to the garden. I'm so excited it's finally planting day. So I wanted to bring you guys along with me when I was hardening over the plants and bringing them out here to the garden. But I did it when I had a minute. Like I had my plants hardening off on my porch, and one day I had my husband here for a minute to help me. So I asked him to bring it down. So that was like a split-minute decision, and I didn't have the time to bring the camera out. And then once it was down here, I brought it into the garden. And a couple days later, I was like, you know what? I have 2 minutes. Let me reference my planner. And I moved the plants to the beds that they belong to. The only thing I didn't move to the place that it should be is the tomatoes, because they haven't really done much yet. And I'm still deciding if I should plant them out or not. I should plant these, or I should go to the nursery and buy some tomato plants. So we're going to decide about that. But right now we have lots of transplants to take care of and lots of seeds packets that I have right in here to plant out as well. So let's get this going. Debating where we should start. I think we're going to start the bed over there that has garlic, and we'll have eggplant and snapdragons, because I think that we can plant out that entire bed right now. Like the ones that have the tomatoes are not going to be fully done today, so I think we should start with one and know that the bed is done. That'll feel great. So let's go over there first. Okay, so like I said, we're going to start in here. Over here we already have garlic, we already have radishes. And for some reason, my seeds that we started probably 4 weeks ago already, they're very slow to start. Carrots, I don't think I got any single one to germinate. I realized after I seeded them that the bed that I did both sides carrots, the sprinkler heads didn't do a very good job watering, especially the edges. So I learned that over the winter I have to remove the sprinklers. Like I can leave the hoses out here, but the sprinklers, the heads have to come out. I had planted a zucchini over there, it didn't sprout. I had carrots over here, I don't think any sprouted. The radishes are very slow, the lettuces are very slow. So that's some of the things that we're gonna start again today. We're gonna start some more. So, I'm gonna get my planner out to see exactly where I want these things. I believe the snapdragons are gonna go in the middle to divide the the garlic from the eggplant. I think we're gonna have a watermelon right here between the radish and some more eggplant right there, but let me reference, because we need to make sure. Okay, so we're gonna have, actually the edges are gonna have zucchini, so we're gonna start one zucchini now, we're gonna wait 2 weeks, we're gonna start another zucchini, then we'll have eggplant, and the radishes over here. And like I said, the snapdragon in the middle. I think the easiest thing to do is start with zucchini. So let me find that seed packet. I have the zucchini right here. And if I remember correctly, when we started the zucchini last time, I saw that I'm going to need to get more. So if I go to the store to get more tomatoes, actually I need to go to the store anyways to get potting soil, because we started eucalyptus, and the eucalyptus I am going to put in pots because they could be perennials, and if they overwinter over here, they should be in a pot so that I can, so it doesn't take up space in a bed next year. So the zucchini needs to have 36-inch spacing. I didn't bring my dibbler. Where is it even? I didn't see it with my stuff. I want it here in the corner. So I'm going to take the snapdragons out of this. We don't need it. And these are the eucalyptus, and they're looking so good. Look at this. I'm actually going to leave it on the bed right here. I have my tags here, so I'm gonna leave this tray here so I can reuse the tags. The eucalyptus can come off, and I'll put it on the pot. When a packet says 36 inches, then it means that it needs 36 inches around and around. Because I'm start putting it at the end, we can just go like this and do half of 36. Really? That's a lot of space. I think I'll do it half of that, and it'll grow out of the bed. Otherwise, I'm planting it like right here. I think I'll do it more like this. Over here. Okay, I'm gonna put 2 in and cover it. Now, I did bring out I left the tape inside. Let me run and get it. This is my very sophisticated labeling system. I have some painter's tape with a garden marker. And the reason why I'm using a garden marker is because any other markers will fade in the sunlight. This marker is UV resistant, so it won't fade and I'll still be able to see what it is. And I'm gonna label it with a garden staple. Okay, now I have diamond eggplant, which are going to be smaller eggplants, I believe, if I remember correctly. So those are going to go on this side. I think I want the eggplant in a third spot also. Yes, I think, okay. I want the 3 eggplants in a different spot, so those will be the diamond on the bed right where we come into the garden. So I'm going to take this over there. And I want 4 of the Black Beauty eggplants right here. Now I think this one over here in the front is also a diamond eggplant. So we have 1, 2, 4 Black Beauty, amazing. Let me see the spacing for this. We're gonna do 2 feet from the edge. It's gonna be our first one. And I'm gonna take the label that I have from starting these plants. And I'm just going to leave it here on the bed, and I'll know that the eggplants on this bed is all this variety. Okay, so this is 2 feet in, and we're going to do 6 inches. Okay, over here is going to be our first one. Beautiful root system right here. So this soil in the beds is prime to start seeds and transplant stuff. So it just rained a ton yesterday, and it's gonna rain the next few days. So it's perfect. And look at that, 1 plant in the ground. Okay, now these need a foot spacing, I believe, yeah? 1.5 feet. Okay, so this was the one that I'm using right now. 1.5 feet. 18. So the next one will go right here. Wow, look at this root system. Amazing. I have a lot of space here. Can totally do another one. Let me start the other side and let's see. So over here we're going to have another zucchini. So we're again going to do 2 feet from the edge. Okay, this is the other variety that we got. Now we just have one more. I think the other variety, I just need 3. I might have an extra one, so I might just decide to do another one here. Yeah, I need 3. Let me see how many I have in the other pot. So I had 3 germinate in the other pot. One is all shriveled up. It's not going to be good to transplant. So I need those 3 over there. I have one over here that's pretty small. So I think I'm just going to plant it over here. And we'll have 5 eggplants. And I'll probably plant this one a little bit deeper than the other ones to help this stem heal, and hopefully the plant will recover. I'm going to take off the bottom leaves that are shriveled, and if this doesn't take, then we still have the amount of plants that I wanted. I was planning for 4 of this. So if it takes off, then we have 5. We have an extra one, that's great. But if not, that's fine too. Okay, so I have some extra soil here. I'll just leave it here. And I'm going to put my pot in the tray so that it can be taken inside. Okay. Now, so the snapdragons are going to go 2.5 feet from the end. So they're going to go right over here. I think I can actually do it at the 2 feet. Over here, yeah, perfect. That looks better to me. They're gonna go right in here. So, one variety of these snapdragons didn't sprout at all. This one that did sprout, I had seeded a bunch of them in one pot. So, we're gonna try to separate it right now so that we can get the most flowers individually planted. These root balls are nice and wet because they were outside for that big rain yesterday. Let me see if I hope I'll be able to separate them. They're pretty close. And when you're doing this, you want to make sure that the main root system doesn't tear or break. Like the little roots doesn't really matter. They'll recover, they'll grow back. But the main root system is what keeps the plant going. So with that, we got to be more careful, more gentle. There we go. How much space do I need for each of them? I think they need about 6 inches. Now that I have each of the plants separated, I am first spacing them apart, and then I'll come back and plant them all. Oh wow, okay. 1 pot for 1. I think I'm gonna have a lot more than I need. So we might just plant these somewhere else too. Beautiful. So now we're going to do the same thing for that side. Let me just get a label. Zucchini over there we're going to start in a couple weeks. But I think, let me see if the watermelon is in here. I didn't even look through everything to see what I'll be starting today. We still have to do a cleanup around all the beds from last year. But once we plant all this out, there's going to be like a 6 to 8 week window where there's not going to be much to do in the garden. So I think that's when we'll do the cleanup here. But let me see if I have watermelon in here. Watermelon might need a bit more time before we do it. Oh, no, I have it here. Okay. So let's see. How much space do I have here? Perfect. So the watermelon will go in the middle here. I'm going to put in 2 seeds. Right in the middle here. About an inch deep. And that will be it for this bed. We're going to find space for our other snapdragons. Where are we going to next? So the bed over there, the next bed over, should have been a bunch of paprika peppers, which I actually didn't end up buying the seeds for it to be able to start. But I do want to have habanero peppers there. I will have basil in there, lettuce. Cucumbers we're not starting. Cucumbers are going to go in the trellis that we're not starting yet. We can move over there. And the next bed over there was going to have Roma tomatoes, which, like I said in the beginning, we're not transplanting the tomatoes yet. Because I have to decide if I'm going to start them or not. I'm still deciding if I should plant these or buy some from the store. So if I finish this bed over here with whatever I have right now, then we're done with this entire row. So I do have sage here, which came up again, which I didn't know that is perennial. So I think I might just end up leaving it. No, because I need the cucumbers over there. Okay, so I think I'm going to leave it for now, because I need to get potting soil anyways. I'm going to transplant some of them in my landscape in the front. I have a plant. You probably can't even see me now. So like I said, the sage, I have a plant in the front of my house in the landscape that since I put it in, it never flowered. And it's going on year 5 maybe, or maybe even year 6. So I'm going to pull that out. I think I'm going to put in 1 or 2 of these sage plants over there. But what I want to do is I want to put them into pots and leave them in the garden here. But in case if the deer or any animal comes and eats those, I should still have them for next year. I keep losing my train of thought. I'm being distracted. Yeah, I should have them as backup in case if we don't have them come up. I mean, if the deers do eat them. Yeah, I'm looking here. I might have carrots. Is this carrot? I don't even know. Because I think this bed would get watered a little bit better. So we're going to start off with the habanero peppers right here. And I have 3 plants. I think I'm going to plant all 3 anyways. Even if I only plant for 2. Where's my yardstick? Habanero is going 2 inches in. It's going to go 2 inches apart. I keep saying inches, feet. Sorry, 1 foot in and needs foot spacing. My husband is getting the T-post installed because we're adding a 4th arch trellis. I loved it last year. I'm excited to have 4 going this year. Okay, so we'll do 1 over here. 1 over here. And the 3rd one over here. These habanero plants are looking amazing. I'm thinking maybe I'll put the snapdragon here in the middle. The only thing is that peppers need a lot more space than the snapdragons do. So it's going to be a waste. So I think I'll just put the snapdragons here for now. And we'll see what I decide to do at the end. I do have a couple of extra, I believe they're red peppers. Yeah, just regular red peppers So I think I'll plant those two in the middle over here. And we'll see about the rest of the space. So this one will have to be planted deep because the stem is starting to break already. So we got basil also that I started. And we can also start some more from seed. Okay, so I was helping my husband out with the trellis. I'll show you what it's looking like in a minute. But right now we're gonna do basil, which we're gonna do like the snapdragon. We're gonna separate it, like I said. Let me bring you a little bit closer so you can see what I'm doing. It's nice and wet, so it should be fairly simple to separate it. I have two plants here, and gently pull it apart. Now last year these basil plants got really big. I had them planted between my tomatoes and they got really big. They competed for space with the tomatoes. So we're gonna give them a nice amount of space over here. And we're gonna have it going all the way down the bed. And I actually have the last basil pesto that I made last year in my fridge right now. These need a foot of space. And they're really small. I started these quite late. I started them together with the tomatoes. So, yeah, they're taking quite a while to get the size. Okay, now after the peppers behind the basil, we're going to make a row over here of lettuce. I have 5 different lettuce varieties, and we're going to do a few of each. Should I? Or I think I'll pick 2 varieties, and in a couple weeks when we come out to do more zucchini, we're going to do more lettuce, we're going to do more radish, and we'll do different varieties then. So I think I'll do a crisp head and a loose leaf. I'll do a black-seeded Simpson lettuce. Okay, so I'll do these 2 varieties right now. We're gonna go a foot in. So over here. I think I'll do the loose leaf lettuce this end, the crisp head on the other end. These don't have to go very deep, so I'm just gonna dig a little bit and get it in there. And it says to plant every inch and then thin it to every 8 to 10 inches. So I'm just gonna plant it every 10 inches to make it easier for myself, because I don't like to come out and thin. Okay, so I think I'm doing 6 of this variety, and we'll do 6 of the other. Okay, so with that, this bed is done as well. This bed over here, you can't even see, is going to be tomato. We have onions over there. Over there we have to weed. We took soil from the walkways and put it in there because throughout the winter the chickens dug over there like really deep. So there's lots of seeds. I have to pull that out. But this is going to be tomatoes, and you already know the spiel with the tomatoes. So we're going to move over to the next row, and that over there is our newest trellis. It was just installed, and that's going to have our loofah. I'm excited for that, and I'll show you the loofah that we just found in the garden. So we just found this in the garden. This is a loofah that I dried out. It stayed in the garden. And I'm guessing that the chickens pecked at the peels of it. But this is what the loofah looks like. That was exciting. Okay guys, I thought I was recording. I was saying that this is going to be our brassica bed. Broccoli, cauliflower, kale. I did start cauliflower, but it didn't germinate. So we're not going to have that. I'm trying to weed over here. Because once this is covered with a net, because brassicas, the bugs love it. So it has to be covered. And once I have the net over, I get lazy to uncover it and weed. I planted over here a loofah. One of them. Last year I done 2. And I don't want to do that again. What is this coming up here? Looks like parsley maybe. But this bed of peppers, so I will maybe pull it up. Okay. Yeah, so I was saying that last year I did 2 loofahs and it was too much for the arch trellis. It's not that big of an arch trellis, and the loofah gets really big. So as it's growing, I'm going to wind it in and out of the arch trellis, up and down, and then we're going to bring it back up and over. And it's going to wrap around a few times, and that will be that. So I'm only doing 1 to give it the best chance of producing. The chickens are very loud right now because they were outside. We just put them back in their coop because I cannot keep an eye on them when I'm in the garden. And my husband just left. Hopefully they'll calm down in a couple minutes. So I have somewhere to be later today. So maybe my husband will come out then and put up this arch to put the net over it. If not, we'll have to wait until the rain stops to come back out here again to do that. Okay, I think I got the majority of weeds out. Those that are too small is just way too hard, so I'm gonna have to come back out and do this a couple more times. Once it's covered, it should be okay. Okay. So, for these, they need 2 feet of spacing. So, 2 feet. So this is where the first one will be. I think I might just do more broccoli because some of them sprouted more than 1 and they're still pretty small. Because I think this we started together with tomatoes also. I was pushing off starting these tomatoes and these last few starts because I didn't have soil and I didn't have pots. So I waited until I was able to transplant the onions to use those pots. And that took a very long time. So I was gonna do 6 broccoli, then kale, 4 cabbage, and then cauliflower. So I think I'll do instead 8 broccoli, then the kale, then the cabbage. Yeah, again, like some other plants that like the basil, I hope that these are gonna do well because they're so small right now. Okay, the kale are gonna go next. Okay, in the front over here will be our cabbage. Okay, so this one's definitely going in. This one's looking very good. This one I feel like if I plant it out, it'll do good. Let me see if I have one that looks better. This one over here looks good. Trying to pick out the best so that I have the best chance of producing a nice head of cabbage. Label it. Okay. I think we're gonna put in one more thing in here, which will be baby's breath, which I'll put it on the two sides of the kale over here. Okay. So right here, they need to be 8 inches apart. Okay, so as you saw, I dug a little trench for it. And then I'm just loosely covering it. And we're gonna do the same thing on the other side of the kale. Okay, these seeds are pretty small, so I'm sprinkling a bunch of them wherever I want it to go, with the hope that some of them will take. I have a few extras, so I'll just sprinkle it. Okay, so this bed is done. We're almost halfway through. As I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, hey, I did 4 beds already. I need to do 3 more because the other 2 are garlic, so I'm more than halfway through at this point. Okay. My phone is such a good distraction. Over here we're doing peppers. And dill, cucumber will go on the trellis up here, which we are waiting on. So, I think the peppers that are going in here are in this tray over here. So we have to separate them because I have a bunch of different things in here. So I need cayenne pepper, Carolina Reaper, and jalapeno. So I have jalapeno, cayenne. The Carolina Reaper didn't sprout. I couldn't get them to sprout. So let's see, I was gonna do 4 cayennes, and I have 6 and 2 jalapeno, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4 jalapeno. So I think I'll do 3 jalapeno, 4 cayenne pepper. So these will go in the center of the bed. And so we're starting 1.5 foot from the edge, and they need 18 inches space. So we're going to start with jalapenos on this side. I might have to come out with another marker and redo these labels because they're very light. So then I'm going to leave 2 feet for dill, and then we're going to put our cayenne peppers. Again, every 18 inches, we'll do cayenne pepper. I'm debating if I should do another one. I think I could. I have enough. I don't have a lot of staples left. Let's see, what else is going into this bed? So we're going to put in marigolds in between the peppers. So let me find those. Oh, I got the dill and I got marigold. Let me do the dill first. Over here. And these will go 12 to 8 inches. Sorry, 12 to 18 inches. Now for the marigolds, all I'm going to do is I'm going to go between these 2 peppers. Put in a couple seeds. Cover it. In between these 2 peppers, put in a couple of them. And cover. And we'll do the same thing on the other end. Okay. Now I believe this bed is done. Yes, it is. Let's go to bed number 6. Our lettuce over here is coming up, which is exciting. It's taking a long time, but it's coming up. Okay, this bed here is our bed right when we come into the garden. And this will be a bunch of random things. So, over here in the back side of it, we're going to have dahlias, which I have right in here. All of these over here are dahlias. Then we're going to have cherry tomatoes on the trellis. We're going to have eggplant here. Actually, one of the diamond eggplant. One over here, 2 2 on this side. Then we're going to have asters, which I have in this pot. We're going to have snacking peppers, which we have in here as well. And we're going to start some zinnia seeds. And then on that trellis on that side will be green beans, but that one, I don't know, I have to see if I have the seed packets for it over here. I have a ghost pepper, which I have right here. So I do only have planned for one, but I do have 2 ghost peppers. So actually I think this ghost pepper I'll put into the bed over here. The one that was gonna be all the paprika peppers. Just have 3 more staples left. I guess I'll have to buy more. So the ghost pepper is gonna be 2.5 feet. 1 foot in. After this, the dahlias are gonna go every 6 inches down the length of the bed. Let's see if I have 4 more. I don't. Okay. So dahlias are only gonna go till here. I have 1 more over here that is just sprouting. So I think I'll get this one in here as well. And that will be it. In here we're gonna put our eggplant next. So a foot after this. So over here, how deep in? So 18 inches in. Right over here we're gonna do asters, and we'll do 6 asters. And they go a foot apart. Let's see how many asters I got here. 5. And I have space for 6. Okay, I'll space them a little bit further apart then. Let's do the eggplant, which will be starting over here. So the next one will go in here. Okay, now we can move over to the other side. So after rain is actually a great time to weed because the soil is soft and it's easy to pull up the entire root system. I see some weeds here. I tried pulling them before I started planting in here, but I see that I missed some. Let me find the zinnia seeds. Do I not even have zinnias? I don't even have zinnias. No, these are not zinnias either. Why did I plant for zinnias if I don't have any? Because that's a question for another time. I just checked and I do have, but they need another 2 weeks until they can be direct sown. So let me think, what am I going to put in here? I have a bunch of different flowers, so I might as well... Oh, I have a different zucchini here. Okay, I don't have to buy more. So I think what I'll do, double click Snow Puff Cosmos on that end, and we'll do double click Bicolor Pink Cosmos on that end. And we'll do the snacking peppers in the middle here. Okay, now since I don't have staples anymore, I'm just gonna bury it a little bit and hope that it stays. Now we're gonna do 3 of our snacking peppers, and they need 2 feet. On this end over here, we're going to do the double click Snow Puff Cosmos every 6 inches. Okay, our last bed here. I do have a lot of tomatoes sprouting here because last year I had over here these first 2 tomatoes. You can see the strings over here hanging. That's our tomato trellis. First over here were teeny tiny, like 1 ounce tomatoes, maybe even smaller. And it was so hard to harvest. It was so tedious that we gave up in the middle of the season. So lots of tomatoes growing here, but nothing's gonna come of it because there's so many packed into a tiny little space. We're gonna have tomatoes along the end over there. Peppers in the front with celery in between. Let me see if I have the squashes out here that will go in between the tomatoes. No, okay. So the squashes and the tomatoes will be another day. So we're just gonna plant the peppers and celery right here. So on this end over here, we're gonna start with orange pepper, which orange pepper I believe are in here, yes. So we're gonna do 3 orange pepper. Let me move these. So they're gonna go 6 inches in, and 6 inches, and we'll do 3 of them, and they're going a foot apart. I'm thinking now, I have quite a bit more peppers than I need. I might just decide to add them to the other pepper bed that was going to be paprika. Because I had celery in here, so I dedicated space for it. So we'll do a celery at 8. How many celeries do I have? 5. I have way more than that. Celery over here. Okay, now we're going to do red peppers. And we're doing 1, 2, 3, 7. And I have, I believe, 7 over here. And these I'm doing every foot. It's such a beautiful weather to be out here. It's not too hot, not too sunny. I've been out here for almost 3 hours and I've barely worked up a sweat. It's amazing. So the reason why I left space here for celery is because the year before, the celeries came back. This winter was a lot harsher, and we had the chickens in here, and they probably pecked at anything that was coming up. So the celery didn't come back. So I'm happy that I did start some more. Like that, I still have them. So now we're going to do 4 celery, also a foot apart. I think my celeries are looking way better than they did any other year before. I think it's my 3rd year growing celery from seed. Okay, I'm going to finish off over here with 2. These are yellow peppers. Now I still have a lot of plants left and I have space left. So I'm going to give it a couple days. I'm going to think what I want to do with them. And I guess you'll find out by the first garden tour what I decided to do with them. If I'm going to give it away to friends or anyone that wants to plant some, or I decided to use it, or I'm just composting them. We're going to see. So, if you enjoyed watching this and you want to see how things come along, then consider subscribing, and I hope to see you in the next one.